Phil Cooey.
An energy dealer via food, via movement, via ice.
We did a session this morning. When did you sort of discover your love for mobility?
I started off pretty late in that kind of training scene, like gym scene. Picked up the dumbbells and just kept going. And then I was like, there's got to be more to this chicken and broccoli and bloody bodybuilder life. Stumbled across calisthenics. I've always had that kind of inclination to just keep exploring. I just want to be functional.
I want to go more into entrepreneurial journey then.
Came back from the States with this Pokeball concept. This was going to be the first brick and mortar store in Auckland.
March 2022, you launched Ice Immunity.
It was just a natural progression. I got one of those plastic tubs, bought 4 bags of ice, chucked it on Insta. Next thing you know, everyone's like, oh, can I come try it? Yeah, no, I didn't really expect it to grow into what it is now.
How have you managed navigating all the different parts that you do play?
I'm still trying to work that out.
What do you think is a moment in your career or life that you're most proud of?
Come on, Phil.
If I could have one moment of your time. Most of you guys listening or watching do not subscribe to the channel. The simple and easiest way to help and support us is to subscribe. It helps us get the guests that you guys want, and it gives us a more opportunity to grow this thing to where we want to take it. Thank you so much. Enjoy the episode. Kia ora.
Phil Cooey, welcome to the show, brother.
Good morning.
How we feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay,
Phil, what do
all right.
we need to know about you, bro? How would you describe who you are and what it is that you do? Because even off the bat, I'm like, oh man, my bro does everything.
In my email signature, I label myself as a facilitator of many sorts, I guess. That's one way to put it. Or I like to say, to make it easy and simple, an energy dealer.
Yo.
Just dealing energy and vibes,
Wow, I've never heard that before. An energy dealer, that's so cool. Wow. Do you know anyone else who's an energy dealer?
Well, I feel like a lot of people are. If you're in that kind of space where you're leading, you're dealing energy, you're giving energy, you're providing, you're giving value. So I guess, yeah, if you're looking at all the things that I do, I'm always giving, dealing energy, whether it's via food, via movement, via ice.
Yeah, bro. I released a reel last night and it was around give and receive. Do you feel like the more that you have given in regards to your energy, time, aroha, love, do you believe in the trade-off of give and receive? Do you feel like it has been received back?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like to look at it like a garden, you got to look after your garden. You got to tend to the garden, like the garden being self. Look after yourself, look after your soul, look after your body, your mental health. And then the butterflies will come. Like butterflies can be, opportunities, people, just anything positive, I guess. Yeah. And it will always come when you just focus on yourself.
How long have you been in this world of energy giving? I'm so intrigued in this, bro.
I don't know. I think since high school, I went to I did fashion design, and I started a clothing label I started it by myself, and then I merged with a couple of my other homies that I met through going out in town and partying in the days. And we made a clothing label called Kingdom of, and that's kind of where it started, I guess.
So high school days, eh?
Yeah, I haven't really, obviously, this is one of my first podcasts, or kind of places that I've talked about this and actually thought about, reflected on my past. And yeah, if you were to look back at those clothing label days, I used to, because I sew, so I would cut and sew all these tops out I would like, and then people would be like, hey, where'd you get that from? Because they were just one-offs that I would just go to the fabric store, buy some fabric that was fucking cool, and then I would just sew it up, and then people would just be like, yo, can I get one of those? And I'm like, yeah, sweet, cool. And there'll be days weekends where I'd go to a car park and then tell everyone meet me at the Point Shift car park. countdown or some shit, and I've got like a box of like one-off tees or singlets or tanks, and then boys would just come through and just be, oh yeah, sweet, I'll take this one, $40. You go.
Wow. So you've always been quite entrepreneurial.
Yeah, I guess I don't really like to use that word, but yeah.
Yeah, true. I know it's a bit of a stigma, eh?
Yeah.
How would you describe, I guess, earlier life? High school years, could even go even earlier than that.
Yeah, I was always the odd one out. Not odd one, but I'd always be that kid. Like at school, I was that kid that did the handstands on the field. I'd just be like this social butterfly, I guess. Like, I would just be everywhere. Like, didn't really stick to like a tribe or like a group. I would always kind of just be flying around. I guess like people pleasing. Yeah. And obviously that's, as you get older, you realize that's not really beneficial, or it's not really, it's not a good thing to be, a people pleaser.
Yeah. When did you sort of come to realize those realizations that, oh, this isn't good?
Oh man, probably like mid 20s, I'd say. Yeah, mid 20s. I'd say I went through like this like kind of like lonely kind of chapter, which was cool. Like, it was, I think it was necessary. Like I just started going to the gym. I was just super focused. And just went through like this like lonely chapter where I just, was just focusing on myself, doing the things that I liked to do, and just didn't really like spend too much time with people. Didn't really like, there was like no girls involved, nothing. It was just me, the gym, or just, self-improvement practices.
So that was the beginning of, I guess, your self-development, right? Where that sort of started coming to fruition.
Yeah, I think it was more just gym stuff. Like, when you start training, you want to look after, your body by fueling with the right foods, and like, getting enough rest. But it was mainly just like food and rest at that point, like now there's obviously like a million things you can do or you have to do to be like, healthy.
Yeah.
But back then there wasn't much information or like, talk around that kind of stuff, all the practices that you hear now. Yeah.
Now it's cool to be healthy,
now
right?
like everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
It's like you could also get like a bit fatigued with all the stuff that's been like, projected onto us or like just talked about. Yeah.
Bro, I want to dive into, because you mentioned the lonely chapter, and I feel like there's information and education on that now that's getting spoken about more of people experiencing the same thing. Yeah. Do you feel like that was needed, or do you feel like that is needed to, I guess, get yourself to the next level?
Oh, I think 100%, man. Yeah. You do need to be comfortable in your own space with your thoughts, by yourself, just being by yourself, not going out, hanging out with people all the time. You just got to get to know yourself, know what you like, know what you don't like. That's probably one of the key things is knowing what you don't like. Wow. Because it's easy to just be that chill guy and just, be happy to do whatever. But I think you're just doing yourself a disservice, really.
Yeah, bro. They do say like a man should always be comfortable in solitude. Like that's where a man grows, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Wow. No, I love this, bro.
And just being being alone with your thoughts. I don't know what the stats is, but you get 1,000 thoughts coming through your head into your, you get 1,000 thoughts that come through, but like which ones do you actually take on? Which ones do you like just shove over to the side or whatever? Yeah. And whatever ones, or which ones do you act upon? You got to be able to like know how to like filter through all that stuff. And I think that comes down with that comes through solitude.
Yeah, and a lot of people find solitude uncomfortable.
Yeah,
they do. It's whether it be I need to be with other people. I need to be glued into a screen.
Or just like have to talk, just
Yeah.
talk, you know, like just silence is uncomfortable sometimes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But you're quite big on discomfort. And what I mean by that is you're doing things that most people would view as uncomfortable. The mobility.
Controlled discomfort. Yeah.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
I'm big on that too. But I want to know, what does discomfort look like for you now?
Discomfort would just be just taking the stairs as opposed to the elevator. You know, walking around the car, or, you know, walking up the drive instead of like, you know, driving up. Just finding like little things. I don't know, I feel like that's always been in me, but yeah, I guess daily life, going to the gym's hard. Like, you know, you can't say it's easy all the time. Like, you know, you start off a run and it sucks, but you know, 10 minutes down the track, you feel good, or 15, whatever it is. Saunas start off hard. Like, everything starts off hard and then feels good. So I think we need to delay that gratification, because it's so easy to, like, you know, get that hit. You know, you just grab your phone out of your pocket, you're just getting hit after hit. So you need to find ways to, you know, control that and delay it, you know. Delaying that gratification is, I think, key.
Welcome to the Martin Show first ad break. For anyone who is wanting to go on a new journey, learn a new skill, we have started our basic beginners boxing fundamentals course. For anyone, if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned member, this is the course for you in the boxing space or fitness space. Click the link below or go to onlineboxingtraining.com and I'll see you guys there. Let's get to mahi, eh? Controlled discomfort. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. If there was like the one thing that, maybe not that you couldn't live without, but the one thing that you feel like has contributed or impacted your life the most, you know, you can, good food, movement, sauna, ice, sun, all these things. What's the one thing you think has impacted your life the most?
Just movement, man. Yeah, I'd say movement is key. Like, whether it's a walk, a run, or a proper session, gym sesh, like, I think that will just cure a lot of like the problems that you've got in your head or that you're dealing with. It will just change your outlook. Just go out there, sweat, move, do something. But I think that's I wouldn't be able to live without that.
Yeah, get your body right and the mind will follow.
Yeah, hard out.
Speaking of movement, mobility strength coach, we did a session this morning. Shaky legs, Zachy with shaky legs. When did you sort of discover mobility and your love for mobility?
Reflecting back, I think I've always just been a curious kind of dude, in terms of, you know, exploring the potential of like the human body. You know, I started off pretty like late in that kind of training scene, like gym scene, like I would say mid-20s. I was always like, I play sports, like, you know, volleyball and like basketball is like enough. I'm not like, you know, I'm not fat. I don't need to go to the gym. And then one of my boys, he dragged me along. And then from there, I kind of just picked up the dumbbells and just kept going. And then I was like, there's got to be more to this chicken and broccoli and bloody boring bodybuilder life. So I just ended up doing my own kind of like research and like just went down these rabbit holes, but like in my early 20s. And then, just stumbled across like, you know, calisthenics. And I would always kind of make that as a secondary thing. It was like something I would do after my workout. You know, I'd do the general lifts like bench, pull-ups, and then I'll go do some handstands in the corner. So I was always like exploring like what I could do, and then like, oh sick, I could do this handstand. What about a muscle up? I'll try muscle up, and then it'll be like, oh, what about like this move, pistol squat? Oh, let's start adding like weight on there. So like I've always had that kind of inclination to like just keep exploring and just trying. And like I was telling you this morning, or like when we were doing the session, I just want to be functional, you know. You know, this functional training, but like actually functional, like be able to like perform these skills with like, you know, accuracy and just whenever you can, you know, like just on demand. I think that's pretty cool. So from calisthenics kind of requires some level of mobility. You know, with a handstand, you can throw a handstand up, but is it like straight? Is it curved? Is it, you know, aligned? Is it a handstand that has good form? So from there, you kind of dive into mobility and looking at forces you to like analyze the body, and just see, what areas need to be, you know, more open and mobile. So I guess it's been a natural progression, me going to mobility. Yeah.
What is it that you wish people knew about mobility but don't?
It's honestly just like strength training. It's like doing a bicep curl or push up. It's honestly that simple. It's not, like I said, not just sitting there like touching your toes and stretching your hammies. There's like no intention. There's got to be intention. And then, so I think that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, bro. I'm intrigued in this idea of trend because, like, you know, going to the gym is quite trendy. You know, people post their selfie of them at the gym or going for a run. It's kind of, you know, it's still quite trendy. But you don't see too many people posting videos of them doing mobility and downward dog. Not many anyway.
Nah. Well, it's not like a sexy thing to post.
Yeah,
like,
but sexy is another good word you can use.
Yeah. Obviously, like, you know, if I was a chick like in tights, like, and doing it, it'd be, it's great. Like, you know, you'd get the clicks and the views and the attention. But for guys, and just for mobility in general, like, the movements aren't sexy. You just got to do these movements consistently. But then it makes everything else sexy, I guess. Like, you know, it makes all your other moves like pretty good. Like, you can flow, you're fluid, you know, you're not like a stiff breadstick.
Controlled discomfort, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So at the start of, when you're doing mobility or stretches, it sucks. You know, you get that discomfort because you're so stiff and tight and you just need to like breathe through it. It's all just the breathing.
Well, most people like me would be at that beginner stage. They haven't tried it or they're at step one. What are some like practical steps for them to begin?
Start with 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes, little mobility snack is all you kind of need. I've got a few on my page, so if you want to jump on there, there's a few there. Just start 5 minutes a day. Find a good kind of like routine that obviously helps with the area that you need improvement in, and just start building. Because once you start doing it, you start feeling and seeing the results, and then that feeds into your mind, and you're like, okay, cool, this is good. It's like, you know, once you understand that ice baths are good for you, you're like, oh fuck, I need to keep doing more. Or like saunas are good for me. Like working out's good for me. You know, you're rewiring your brain, and your brain's gonna start craving it. So then that's the same with mobility, you know? It's your body starts to understand, okay, cool, I can like touch my toes with ease now. Like I'm not having to like hold on to the fucking handrail and tie my shoelaces, whatever it is.
Yeah, creating new habits, right?
Yeah, it's another habit really. It's like I tell people it's like brushing your teeth. Like, you know, you wouldn't go a day without brushing your teeth. So like start with 5 minutes of mobility. I only do it probably like every other day, maybe 3 times a week properly, but nice. I just need to maintain it now. I've got it. I just got to maintain it.
6 weeks, brother. I'm having
let's go.
Day one, very good. 6 weeks.
All right. I've got the footage.
Yeah, he does too. Look at that. I'm accountable now. I'm gonna keep accountable. Well, bro, I want to go more into the entrepreneurial journey then. So you mentioned high school, clothing, fashion. That was sort of where your passion lied in that world. What sort of happened next?
Oh, fashion. It was fashion, and then went traveling, came back, and started the Pokeball store. And this was probably when Facebook just landed. And I came back from the States with this Pokeball concept because everyone was like, over in the States, there was a lot of Pokeball stores. They were everywhere. And I think from my research, they had been a huge trend in 2014, 2015. And this is like 2018 when I was doing it, when I got back from my travels. And yeah, I just kind of just made some calls, called some of my real estate mates. Hey, find me a space in Takapuna. Because obviously I'm from the shore. And yeah, next thing, I was fitting out this massive store.
Wow. And so you got the idea from your travels when
Yeah.
you and then just decided to take action and implement it here.
Yeah, because I didn't see no one was doing it here. We were like I was the first one. I think there was like a night market that was doing it, but this was going to be like the first brick and mortar store in Auckland. And I was like, let's just do it. Like, I started like doing, like when we were fitting out, I was doing it out of like a friend's kind of workshop as well in their kitchen. And I would just put on Facebook, hey, I'm delivering Pokeballs on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, comment on this, and I would deliver it to your work. And I just kind of just hustled it through Facebook when it first started.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. And so that was in 2018. And then in 2022, correct me if there's anything that's happened in between that 4 years, March 2022, you launched Ice Community.
Yeah. It was, I didn't like really launch it. It was just a natural progression.
Yeah.
You know, after lockdown, I was bored. Me and my homie, we were bored, and I think podcasts started like, you know, picking up. Andrew Huberman, you know, like skyrocketed, and yeah, he was just talking about these protocols, like, you know, on ice baths, but specifically, and we had the sauna, so we were like, oh, let's just try this ice bath stuff, and I was like, oh, I've got one of those plastic tubs from AliExpress years ago that I just never used. So like we whipped it out, bought like 4 bags of ice, and it was not cold enough. And the next time we were like, okay, let's get 9 bags of ice. And got 9 bags, and then chucked it on Insta. And yeah, next thing you know, everyone's like, oh, can I come try? Can I come do this? And my mate was like, oh, I don't really want people coming up to my house. So well, one afternoon I was just walking along Taka, and then saw the spot that we have it in Taka on Brett Ave, just an open, you know, park, end of the street, cul-de-sac type vibe, and just took a photo. I was like, yo, on this day, I'm going to do this here, bring your own ice, and I'll have it all set up. And in my head, I was like, sweet, that means I get a free ice bath because I don't have to pay for ice. It'll be fucking cold. Yeah, so then that just turned into like that started with, 10 friends, and then 10 friends and their friends, because like, you know, 10 people sharing it just kind of spiderwebbed out. And then yeah, next thing you know, like I only knew like 40% of the people. I was like, oh shit, where did all my mates go? Because it just got so busy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that wasn't expected?
Nah, it was off the back of COVID. There was not really any like social like things you could go to.
Yeah.
You know, like clubs weren't open again. There was just cafes, but you know, it's cafes. And yeah, I was like, just come hang out here. Like I've got some tunes, I've got the vibes, got people, sun, like ocean, like the beach was like literally right there. So it was like a cool, cool environment to just hang out and just sunbathe and just feel the vibes. But yeah, no, I didn't really expect it to, you know, to just grow into what it is now.
A common theme, even in this conversation, is this idea of trends. And because for anyone who doesn't know what Ice Community is, it's New Zealand's first ice bath community, and founded by Phil. And with trends, do you feel like it was ice baths? I don't know if they still are. Do you feel like ice baths are still as big of a trend as they were when you launched in 2022?
I think it's moved from the trend and is now set into like a proven practice. So it's like, yeah, it's just proven. It's a proven tool that people can use now. Yeah. But when I started, there was only one studio in Auckland, like offering ice baths, and that was like Hana. So they were like the only ones, and then I was like this kind of like on the street kind of vibe, and that was it. So like no one could really like everyone was curious and were intrigued and like wanted to like see if they could do it. So we got super busy because of that. But now that I think everyone's got like an ice bath somewhere and like everyone's selling them, and it's just more accessible. So it's definitely tapered down, I've noticed. But where I want to go with it is kind of take it down that kind of team building route for like, you know, businesses, corporates and stuff, because it's such a great tool for you to like know how to like use to like mitigate your stress, just to like downregulate your nervous system.
Wow.
We just did one on Tuesday with like this builder app, and they just had all the guys from Sydney and New Zealand come together, and just, it was like their like kind of like summit, and they just had like 3 days of just like team bonding and like kind of business building, and like they started off with like a 7 a.m. ice bath.
Wow.
Yeah, so I want to go down that kind of route. I've done some at some crazy like buzzy locations, like these like property builders, these property guys want to do it inside. It was kind of like your setup here, like inside like this car yard, and like they had the branding at the back, and they just were like, let's do it in here. I was like, where are we going to drain the water, bro? It was like, we'll just bucket it out. I was like, fuck, all right then. But yeah, so yeah, I want to kind of get down, move that, that project down that route, because yeah, now that everyone can access an ice bath through these studios, gyms and stuff, I think the corporate route where like I can set up and, you know, run people through and just give them a guided experience.
Yeah.
Because I remember my first time in the tub. I was 40 seconds and I was out. My homie was like, hey, there's an ice bath there. You like ice baths? I'm like, sweet, cool. Jumped in that one. It was just nowhere. It was nothing like the actual ice bath that I made with like the, you know, with the actual ice and the rubber tub.
Yeah.
It was like a full on tub with jets and everything. So like the water was always moving, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what? This is so much more painful.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, I want people to like know what to do so they're not traumatized by the experience.
Yeah, bro. Because it is another controlled discomfort experience, right?
Well, it's very uncomfortable. I'd say it's probably one of the most uncomfortable things you could
bro.
do.
It's actually true. How long can you go for now? 40 seconds to, if you jumped in one now, is it?
Oh, I don't, it's another stress in the body. So I stick to like my 4s and 5s. Yeah. It's more about like kind of consistency than like one long hit.
So when you tell people, because most people will be in that first time of bracket, do you tell them if they were like a protocol for someone's first time?
Yeah.
Is that you just go as long as you can, or do you tell them like, no, we're going?
No. I'll just say like 3 to 4 minutes, push to 4.
Wow.
I'll obviously be there to guide you, but I run them through, you know, super simple, easy, like breathing, like kind of focus, or breathing technique. And then I'll let them drive. You know, I don't want to be like in the air the whole time.
Yeah.
I just give them the tools and then help them like kind of give them some momentum, and then I'll just let them drive. And usually 99% of the time it's fine.
Is there anyone like who should and who shouldn't jump in an ice bath? Like, is there anyone who shouldn't jump in? Like, for example, maybe someone who's pregnant?
I've just read some stuff like on that. I'm pretty sure it's all good. I think it depends on the temperature. Yeah. And we've had like kids jump in. I've got my friends who live in Hamilton. Her kids are amazing. They're so cool. And they've watched her jump in for so many years, and they're just jumping in like because mum's doing it. And it's just so cool to see. You know, and they're like young as like 3 years old, 4 years old. Like, obviously, you don't have to sit in there, but like just being able to like jump in, you know, on your own and jump back out, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, bro. No, that's a great lesson, even for parents.
Yeah.
What parents do, the kids are watching. You know what I mean? Bro, this is more, for me, this is more of a selfish question, but when is the best time to jump in? Is it like straight after a workout, first thing in the morning?
First thing, man.
First thing?
Yeah, just in the morning, man. It hits like a quad shot coffee.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you do that in the morning and then hit a coffee, man, you're off to the you're off to the moon.
Straight into some mobility.
Yeah. Depends what your goals are. I wouldn't do it after like a strength session.
Okay.
I'd do it before, which is obviously not what we've been told, you know.
Yeah.
But after like more cardio heavy sessions, like after the sweet, you know, if you're a run or like, you know, some sparring and stuff, like jump in. But if you're trying to gain muscle, build muscle, hypertrophy, strength, like you want to do that before or keep it well away from the ice because you want that inflammation.
It's awesome that you still want to continue to build and grow the thing as well. You know, 3 years in and now you're wanting to go into more of the corporates. It's freaking awesome. What were some of the I guess the earlier challenges in launching anything? Ice Immunity, the Poke Bowls, maybe your role as a mobility strength coach. What has been a common challenge that you've seen in starting and in launching the three of them, and plus all the others?
I guess having the right people around, like the right team, partners involved. That's always a huge part. I think I've learned that you need to ask for help. You can't do it all. Like even though, you know, you might have that attitude of that can do attitude. Like I think that sometimes bites you in the foot, and I feel like I've definitely kind of felt that.
Have you been good at asking for help?
Yeah, now I have been. I think throughout the years of business.
Yeah. Do you think it is as simple as reaching out to someone?
Yeah, 100%.
So I feel like there'll be a lot of people that are in that similar boat, feeling maybe quite stuck.
Yeah.
Wanting to go to the next level, unsure how. Is it a simple thing as of, I'm just going to message Phil and say, bro, can you help me? Is it as simple as that? Or
yeah, I think that helps. I don't think it would hurt to do that. I think, or just switching up your environment. You know, if you want to be around more motivating people, go find some motivating events to go to, or like, message that guy that's, you know, doing this business that, you know, that you kind of look up to or whatever it is. Yeah, just, I guess, find those people, because it is a lonely kind of road, you know, when you're working on a project, building a business, it's very lonely.
how have you managed navigating everything? All the different parts that you do play?
I'm still trying to work that out.
Yeah.
Like I said, everything's all been an extension of me.
Yeah.
You know, it's everything that I've kind of just done. It's just all just been intuitive kind of projects. You know, I've found interest in this, and I've just kind of just focused on that, and then I enjoy this, so I'm like, okay, let's do this, and it's all kind of just come from, you know, my intuition, my heart. Yeah.
What do you think is a moment in your career or life that you're most proud of?
I think where I'm at today. Yeah. I think, everything now, like I was telling you before, just the garden's, you know, pretty good. Like everything's great. Like opportunities are coming. You know, I'm lucky to, you know, be surrounded with some cool people. You know, opportunities like this come up. Like I think I'm pretty proud of the person I am today. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Not many Kiwi men especially can say it like that. So good stuff, brother. What do you feel like you need to work on?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Or anything that you're struggling with at the moment?
I like to say that, you know, I've gotten better at saying no to things, but I still think I'm struggling on that front.
Yeah, me too.
Like just taking on too much. And sometimes I think, my curiosity to do things kind of bites me in the foot, you know, because I'm like, no, I want to like see if this happens, if I can do this or that. but then there's other things happening. So I kind of lose focus. So I guess maybe like, focus is something I need to work on. Yeah.
It's similar to what we talked about this morning, and getting distracted from
Yeah.
other opportunities.
Yeah.
that
All these roads like come up and you're just like, shit, that one looks cool. Should I go down this one? Oh, this one looks bright. Oh, this one looks exciting. Shit, which one do I go down? Yeah, but I guess, that's just the journey, I guess.
What about inspiration? Like, who or where do you go to stay inspired?
Just the environments, I think. Just switching up environments is quite inspiring. I just did like a solo trip to Bali. And yeah, my goal each year for the past, like, I think it's been 6 years, was to go to a new place every year. And because when you're working for yourself, things can get, like you said, like quite repetitive. You can get quite stagnant. So yeah, I always like to switch up my environment, because you can learn so much just from being somewhere new and just being around a new group of people, a new scene. And
What about death row? If you're on death row, who's the last person you'd want to speak to?
I'd say my partner, my family. Yeah. I'd say my family. Yeah. My parents, because I'm Chinese. I'm not really going down the route that would have liked, they, being Chinese, they want you to, have a academic kind of career, be an accountant, a doctor, yada, yada, yada. And I'm the complete opposite. I'm like so unstable, just like selling things, doing things, making things, building things, losing money, but building businesses, and it's just something that they just don't understand. Well, they do now, but it's at the start. I think it's quite hard for them.
Did you used to struggle with that?
Nah, I've always just been like, meh, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Following that intuition.
Yeah, I was like, nah, this is my life. I'm gonna just do what I like, and obviously be respectful. But nah, this is not. You're not gonna project what you want onto me.
Would you say that you have a connection to your culture and being Chinese?
Not really, eh? I can speak it and understand it, but the rest just looks like gibberish to me.
Yeah.
But as I get older, I do want to dive into a bit more. I think next year I might go over there and just visit China and like just do a stint around there. And that would be 2026. That year's kind of new environment.
If everything was erased, the businesses, all the social posts, and you had 60 seconds left, what's the one final thought you'd want to leave with the world?
Just reps before results. Just do the reps, and then the results will come. Yeah.
Reps. I love that. Yeah, cuz. Where do you think your fuel comes from? All this ambition. You mentioned the your family didn't want you to pursue this particular path. You said, no, I'm trusting my gut. And I'm going to do this because you only get one life. I'm going to put in the reps in all these different areas of my life. Where do you think that desire to want to succeed, where do you think that all comes from?
I want to say, I'm just curious. I just want to know, how, what I'm capable of doing. I want to keep pushing the limits where possible, and with the resources that I've got.
No, I love that, bro. It was one of my biggest lessons of last year. Of curiosity is a superpower.
It is, honestly. It can take you down some crazy routes, but it's generally pretty positive.
Welcome to the Martin Show first ad break. For anyone who is wanting to go on a new journey, learn a new skill, we have started our basic beginners boxing fundamentals course. For anyone, if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned member, this is the course for you in the boxing space or fitness space. Click the link below or go to onlineboxingtraining.com and I'll see you guys there. Let's get some mahi, eh? I got some fire off questions for you as well. More specific to my man. You're going to be like, what? Listen to these, ready? What's the most overrated mobility drill people keep doing?
Oh, just that one I was telling you before, the hamstring one. You just sit down and just...
Touch your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And I feel like most
you're
people
just
do
folding.
that.
You're just folding down like a deck chair. Like there's nothing. Like,
If you had to delete one exercise from existence, what would it be?
oh my God. Come on, Phil. I'm trying to think what other ones I've seen. I think everything's all good.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's no wrong exercise.
Great answer.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. Foam rolling, necessary or nonsense?
Nonsense.
Would you rather have 10 out of 10 strength with 1 out of 10 mobility or the reverse?
Reverse.
Ooh.
Because, if you're building strength on shit mobility, you're just building like your house on stilts. Like it's not going to last.
Great answer. People need to hear that, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But if you're building mobility and then on strength on top, it's like you're building on a solid foundation.
You got your pillars, yeah.
Yeah,
Four
you're
pillars
building
of
on
solid.
like fucking concrete, not like wooden stilts.
Listen up, lads. Morning routine or chaos warrior?
Morning routine.
Bro, you're big on morning routine, bro.
Or just routine in general, I guess. Yeah.
Hard and fast. If you had your dream morning routine that you could do right now, tomorrow, what would it be? What would it look like?
It would definitely be a cold plunge in the morning, coffee, maybe with a friend, and then a workout. Yeah, workout or like mobility kind of a workout. Nothing too crazy. I'm not really a hectic workout morning kind of guy. I'm more like a slow, like a run, a jog, run, mobility, movement kind of practice in the morning. As opposed to like fucking head banging noise, fucking overhead squats and shit. Yeah.
Are you big on like creatine and supplements and stuff like that? Hydration first thing in the morning?
Yeah. Hydration. Obviously,
Yep.
I missed that, but yeah, that would be in like before the coffee.
Yeah.
And at the moment, just starting off with like a decent amount of protein, some eggs. I love me some eggs.
Yeah, brother. What would surprise people about how you train?
The ability to like just do squat, like double my body weight and do the splits. Yeah.
I got another one for you as well that I could relate to that we spoke about earlier, and it was the fact that you train a lot of it is on your own,
Yeah.
which is very similar to me.
Yeah.
I feel like that might surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I think as we get older, it's very hard to sync with someone else, because they've got their jobs, you've got your job. When you're in your early 20s, like uni, like it's easy to like train with the boys and like friends because like you're just doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Where in adult life, you could be, in Avondale, be on the shore, and it's just kind of not that hard it's not that easy to link up, So I think it's just a natural progression in life. Yeah.
I think a lot of people struggle to train on their own, which is why some people don't even start.
Yeah.
If you weren't coaching or building Ice Community plus everything else, what would you be doing?
I'd still be creating. Like I think the whole idea, or like just me in general, I think creating is something I like to do. So I'd be either I'd still be doing that shit. Yeah. But I think I'm really passionate about the mobility side, of the strength side, the programming side. Yeah. And just sharing that because we're not getting any younger. And just hearing people say they're old at fucking 30 is just mind blowing. Like, or even in their late 20s, I'm like, dude, are you joking? Like, how are you old? You're not even halfway through life. You're just a quarter.
Yeah.
So it's just wild.
If You zoom out, you
Yeah,
actually a
if you
baby.
zoom out, you've got so much left. You know, we've all seen it on Instagram, like these old dudes like still moving at like 80, 90. It's like, dude, that it's possible. And why would you not want to be like that, you know? Imagine being like, you know, not being able to pick up your grandkids or even being able to experience like grandkids.
There's so much more life, eh?
Oh, so much more. Yeah.
What's the worst advice you've ever received?
Oh, mate, off the top of my head, maybe go hard or go home. You know, sometimes, yeah, you can't always go hard, you know, because that's just going to slow you down. Like if you go too hard, you're either going to get injured, you're going to like, you know, burn a whole lot of money.
So you're not a fan of intensity, consistency over intensity?
Yeah, I think consistency has always been like, yeah, a huge thing of mine. Just being consistent. Like I said, reps before result. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And I think that's another one where people go wrong is they think they need to go
Yeah.
110 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And
It's not sustainable. You know, you want it to be sustainable. Because like if you go too hard, you're gonna get like, you know, to like your 30s and be like, oh, fuck this, like I'm done. Like, and then give up. But like if you just keep like consistent and like just keep doing things and keep the reps up, you're gonna like, you know, it's gonna suck at the start, and then you like fail, and then you learn, but you just keep doing the reps, and once you learn, you win, and then you just repeat.
is there anything that your curious mind is taking you next, something that you want to learn next?
Not specifically, because I know that there's only a certain amount of time in a day, and like I actually need to start doing like less things. You know, it can get I'm trying to find a team to like look after the other stuff, but so I can focus on like, you know, one or two things. I think no more adding. I just need to subtract more.
Yeah, bro. We mentioned habits earlier. You have all the habits on lock. You have, I guess, the knowledge. You know what your body needs, what your mind needs to perform at its optimal.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do next? Where do you want to take this?
Everything's just going online, so I'm just taking things online, really. I guess that's how we kind of connected, just online. So I understand that that's just the way the world's moving. So I guess I'm taking everything online. Yeah. Well, not everything. I'm, you know, taking things online. Yeah, focusing more on the online element, because you know that's you're gonna be able to reach more people, you know, impact more people, and it's pretty cool to be able to connect with people on the other side of the world.
And is that everything? Ice community, poke bowls, coaching?
No, I think it would just be the more the mobility stuff, the stuff that's actually, you know, able to be put online, like the programming and all that kind of stuff, and just making the content, offering the value, the routines, you know, helping people start that journey, you know.
Future Phil, 5 to 10 years, where would you like to see yourself?
5 to 10 years.
Still in Taka?
No, I think I'd probably be in Aussie. Yeah. I think the lifestyle there seems to align a lot more, you know, and in the weather, I need some sun, man. I need the sun.
It's getting cold here, hey, bro.
Oh, it's not cold, but it'd be nice to have some sun like most of the year.
Phil, my final question, brother. I want to go to younger Phil.
Younger Phil.
Could be that high schooler and doing his first project in fashion and starting his entrepreneurial journey there. Could be even younger Phil. What's the one thing you want to say to him, bro?
Just, reps before results. Just keep doing the reps.
Reps before results, baby. Common theme. I love it, brother. We have a closing tradition on this podcast where the previous guest asks the next question a question, not knowing who the guest is.
Yeah.
The question for you today is, What's an unpopular opinion you have that you think more people need to adopt?
Well, I'm just gonna just stick with the mobility. Mobility is key, man. You can't, like I said, you can't build a house on stilts, or you can, but it's just not going to last. You know, you gotta build the foundation.
It isn't popular at the moment, right?
No, it's not, but we'll change that.
Yeah.
You know, so
Where can the people find you, bro, in order to change that?
just on Instagram, on Phil Cooey without the I.
Nah, I appreciate your time, brother. Thank you for being here. Is there any final words that you want to say?
Nah, man, thanks for having me, brother.
All day, my bro.
Yeah.
Keep this going, baby. Phil Cooey. That concludes another episode of The Martin Show, team. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll drop Phil's details below as well. And somewhere up here will be _ The Martin Show. We're going to be back next week for another episode. You already know. Kia ora. Thank you.